If somebody tries to sell you that load of baloney, you tell them you got some oceanfront property. What's up, Lazy Dog fam? Hope everybody out there is having a fantastic day. Got a decent amount to do in the garden today and not a whole lot of time to do it. According to my weather app, it's supposed to rain here in about 2 hours or so. That's going to work well for what we're doing today, but it's still kind of wet around here, so hopefully not too much rain. And then after we get this done, I got to jump in the car with Brooklyn, head to Atlanta. We're flying out to New Orleans in the morning, and then the next day I'm going to go see Cajun B over there in Thibodaux, take a little tour of his place, see all his fig trees. So a lot to do, not a lot of time to do it, but I think we can get it done. So the first thing we need to do is get a cover crop planted in this plot, which was our pumpkin plot. Came in here, cultivated this a couple times, got it kind of clean, not quite as clean as I want it. There's still a little junk out there, maybe a little grass out there that isn't completely killed, but it is what it is. We'll work with it. I think we'll be just fine. Had to till it a couple times just to get it to dry out enough so we can get in here and plant today, but I think we're in good shape now. So if you recall from several videos ago, I talked about how my long-term plan was to have a cover crop and have the chickens graze that cover crop in all of our plots, all 10 or 11 plots. Do that before next spring comes around. And we're pretty much on schedule. Still got a ways to go before we let them graze all 10 plots, but we're getting there. With that plan in place, that means I always have to kind of think ahead a little bit. Have to have one plot that's ready to graze, have to be planting another plot. So it takes a little kind of forward thought a little bit to have everything in place so we always have something for them to graze. So right now they're finishing cleaning up this plot where we had some sorghum sudan grass and red ripper peas. They're doing a pretty dang good job. You can see that right there is where they've been. That right there is where they've yet to go on their second time around. So they're doing a pretty good job. They're working on cleaning out the rest of that watermelon that I gave them this morning. Well, they can tear up a watermelon in no time. But they'll soon be done with this plot here. I'd say in another week or so. It doesn't take them long in these smaller plots like this. So we got to have somewhere for them to go after this. And they won't be going far. So once they're done here, they'll be moving right over here to where we have these soybeans planted. These look really, really good. Haven't seen any blooms on these yet. Not sure if the timing will work out where we'll wait till we actually start getting some soybeans here for them to eat on, or if they'll just be eating the foliage. I think they'll like the foliage just fine. But that looks nice and lush, and they should enjoy that pretty well. Never grazed chickens on soybeans like this before, so I don't know how rough they'll be on it, how many times around they can make it before they completely tear it up. We'll just have to see once we put them on there. So they're finishing up what will soon be our fall polar bear pumpkin plot. They'll go to the soybeans. Not quite sure how long they'll be on that. So we're going to go ahead and get something else planted here just in case the soybeans don't tolerate a ton of grazing. Now what we're going to be planting here is some millet. I planted a couple different varieties of millet over the years, mostly brown top millet, and I like it okay. It just doesn't get very tall the way I plant it real thick. So this year we're trying this tri-leaf or tiff leaf hybrid pearl millet. Got this from Green Cover Seed, and I chose this particular variety because on the Green Cover website it said the palatability on this was really good, which I guess means animals like to eat it, right? And the regrowth on this was really good, which means it should be able to grow back after the chickens make one round around the plot. Kind of working on it a little bit. And this variety of millet here is supposed to provide some really good weed suppression, which we can certainly use in this plot. Anytime we grow out a big plot of pumpkins, you're going to get a lot of weeds popping up in there because you can't really get in there and weed with all that pumpkin foliage everywhere. So we can use some weed suppression in there, and hopefully we'll get it with this pearl millet. Now I don't know what the application rate is on this pearl millet here, but if you know me, I don't usually pay attention to those rates anyway. I always plant this stuff way thicker than is recommended because I want that dense lush foliage there, give me some good weed suppression. So I've got a 10-pound bag here, and I'm probably going to use the whole 10-pound bag on this 30 by 35 plot. And since this is not a legume like the soybeans, we don't need to inoculate this. All we need to do is strow it and rake it in. So let's get it done. All right. About 10 minutes later, we got our seeds strowed, we got it raked in. Hopefully we get some rain later today and get that stuff up. It'd be nice if we can get it up and going without having to use the overhead sprinkler. Now I said I was going to use that whole 10-pound bag, but as I got strowing this stuff, I realized how tiny those seeds are, and I just couldn't make myself use that much out there. I got some really good coverage, only using about, I don't know, 6-7 pounds maybe. So I'll try to finesse that back into that bag there. Maybe we can use it as a cocktail on another plot. Now I mentioned to you that this was going to become our fall polar bear pumpkin plot, and I now realize I'm going to have this plot ready a lot sooner than I thought I was going to have it ready. Let me take you to the greenhouse and show you what I'm talking about. So unless I'm doing some Alabama math here, these pumpkin seeds were planted just 10 days ago, a week and a half ago. Today is Wednesday. I planted them the Sunday before last Sunday. So it's amazing how much these things have grown in 10 days. I was thinking maybe about 3 weeks, you know, from seed to transplant ready to go in the ground, but I believe you could put some in the ground right now. I mean, it's just amazing how fast these things have grown. Well, it was some really, really good hybrid seeds we planted there, got almost 100% germination, and then microdosing them with that AgriThrive through the siphon there has just got these things growing way faster than I anticipated. So that means we got to get these pumpkin plots ready ASAP, or else we're going to have to step up some transplants in the greenhouse, because they're liable to get root bound in that 162 tray pretty quick as fast as they're growing. Now the plot that's probably the most ready would be this little sliver right here where we had our indeterminate tomatoes. Now I still haven't taken down that trellis set up there. I've had other things on my list that are a little higher priority, and I could probably leave those there, plant these pumpkins here. They might try to climb on those posts a little bit, but I don't necessarily have to get them out of here. I probably will, but I could also probably leave them. I've been working on getting this cleaned up a little bit. I didn't want to till it, but I kind of had to. I wheel hoed it a couple times. It was just so wet the weeds wouldn't dry out, and it was kind of chunky, and I couldn't really rake them out of there. So wheel hoed it a couple times and ended up coming in here with a tiller just to try to get it to dry out a little bit so we could take care of some of those weeds that have grown up there. And I think I might just plant the pumpkins along these same rows where the tomatoes were. Just kind of plant them in that straw there. I think that'll work out pretty good. It's going to limit me on space a little bit on that end, but I may just let them climb all over the grass. We'll see what happens. So I'm pretty close on this plot here. I already got drip tape in place and everything. So we'll be ready with this one pretty soon. Now on this no-till plot I showed you earlier, we're waiting on the chickens to finish up like I said, but we're pretty close. This is not quite clean enough to my planting standards, but it's pretty close. So we take a little closer look here where the chickens have been twice. We can see got a little bit of a pigweed issue there, and that stems from last fall when we were putting down some compost in here. My wife's uncle, he got a little deep with the bucket, kind of stirred up some old weed seeds. Been working hard to get rid of this pigweed issue in this plot. About got it knocked out, but still got a little bit there we need to take care of. So even though this is a no-till plot, we're still going to have to lightly cultivate it a little bit just to work on our weed seed bank, get rid of that pigweed there. And also, from my experiences, when you've got chicken manure being put down on your soil, it works a little better if you incorporate it a little bit. We're not going to till it in the soil, just want to incorporate it a little bit. I think it'll work a lot better if we do it that way. So what I'm going to do is take the wheel hoe and just lightly cultivate that first inch or two of soil there, get rid of the pigweed, get that chicken manure kind of stirred in just a little bit. All right, I sure do like the looks of that. Got that cleaned up a little bit, and I think that's going to be some mighty fine soil for growing some fall pumpkins. Now what I'll probably do here is, as we move the chickens along here, as we free up more lanes, I'll probably just keep doing that. So once they move over another, I don't know, 6 or 8 feet or so, I'll come back, I will hoe this again, and whatever they've recently cleared, and just kind of keep working my way along. And by the time I do that 2 or 3, maybe 4 times, we should have a nice stale weed seed bank in here, good for our pumpkins. So remember, no-till doesn't mean no weeds. It might mean fewer weeds, but it doesn't mean no weeds. If somebody tries to sell you that load of baloney that no-till means no weeds, you tell them you got some oceanfront property in Arizona. So our little wheel hoeing plan there, we'll have this plot ready as soon as the chickens are done with it. This one here is a little bit of a different story. This one is a mess. Got lots of stuff to get out of here. Got to get these tomato cages and this late planting of tomatoes out of here. Probably going to ditch that row of peppers. We'll leave that decent looking row of peppers. We got some space here we need to clean up. I haven't decided on this basil yet. That rain did a number on it. It's starting to look a little better, but for the sake of giving more room for the pumpkins, I'm tempted to just mow it down and restart in the greenhouse. Basil seeds are cheap. I like seed starting, so I might just scratch this basil and start fresh with some new basil for the fall. I don't know yet, but that might be what I do. Either way, got a lot to do in here. Now Rome wasn't built in a day, and this garden plot ain't gonna get cleaned up in a day, but we can at least start working on it. Now, if you grow a vegetable garden and use a lot of Tpost, you gotta have you one of these right here, a Tpost puller. It'll save your back, your arms, everything else, save you some sweat as well. I think this is probably the best $40 you can spend. Well, inflation may have made these go up. I don't know what they cost now, but when I bought this one, it was $40, and it's still one of the best $40 I've ever spent. So instead of fighting these things and trying to wrestle them out of the ground, this makes it a whole heck of a lot easier right here. There we go. And these posts are in there at least a foot deep, so this thing really helps get them out easy. Well, we still got a ways to go in this plot here before it's pumpkin ready, but at least we got started. And when I get back from Louisiana, hopefully I can knock this out in an hour and a half or so, get that drip tape up, get it cleaned up a little bit, and have it ready to plant. Because I got a feeling when I do get back from Louisiana, those pumpkins are going to need to go in the ground. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, and we're still not completely caught up around here after all the rain, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely, just got to take it one bite at a time, and we will get there. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to check out our affiliate links below. A lot of great companies that we use in our gardens here at Lazy Dog Farm. Even got some coupon codes for some of those companies so you can take advantage of those discounts. If you haven't already, go check out our website, lazydogfarm.com, where we've got hats, shirts, recipes, recommended products, all kind of good stuff over there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification button, like, and share, and we'll see you next time right here at Lazy Dog Farm.
Oh, farewell, by the beauty of your life.